welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at one of the stocks that you guys seem to love, which is Bmnr. Bitmine emerging technology stock is falling by a further 5% in today's trading session. We are now seeing this one coming down to levels at 54.87. With all of this, a lot of people are asking the question of where does things go next? I mean, if you have a look at the chart, we are actually seeing a bottom really around about the $54 range. So the question is, are we finding a new bottom right here, or are we looking to potentially go lower? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys all of my personal thoughts and opinions based on what we are seeing on the chart action. As I always say, please do remember, this is not financial advice, it's simply me sharing my personal thoughts and opinions based on the situations that we are seeing at the moment. And now I've said that, guys, if you do like it, please subscribe, please do share the videos, and please give it a like. It lets me know that you guys want to see more on this stock. Now we can jump straight in, and I want to start off by looking at what we have seen today. I think the best way to do this is in the context of the 5-day chart, where you are seeing from these highs that we saw in the last week, round about $68, we've seen the stock on a slow and steady decline. Most noteworthy, we have seen a big drop off today, hitting a low today around about the $53, $54 mark, as I say, with a little bit of recovery towards the middle of the session. Now, slightly towards the end, we saw this one drop slightly further, ultimately concluding on a price of about $54.87. So, a few noteworthy things for today. Now, if you watched the video that we made last week, you will know that this one has now dropped just slightly below the points that we saw in the last week's trading session. And this does now signify a potential new trend, especially now that you consider that this big gap up that we have seen, or we're now back down to levels that we saw before this, right? We're now back down to those more ordinary levels, those lower levels where the stock is currently priced. And whilst things are now low, whilst things are now arguably, you could say, actually starting to flatten out, I'm looking to see whether this support around 54, we'll call it 28 roughly, holds up. Now, we've obviously broken below it briefly. We're now above it. Is it going to hold again? This is this 54 mark here. You could call it 54.50, roughly 54.28, somewhere around this point, right? Is it going to hold? It held up here. It held up here. Can it hold up again? If it can, we could be looking at some more upwards momentum, but I think especially given the climate right now, there is also that possibility that this one could drop even further. If you've watched my videos for some time now, you will know that I say this every single time. It's not my job, it's not my aim to necessarily shape you guys' opinions. I'm just going to give you the levels that I'm looking for, both on the upside and the downside, and you can go on to make your own opinions based off of this. So yeah, I think now, unless we begin to break above previous levels that we've seen, such as $57.31 into the $58 range, that's going to be the upside potential that I'm looking for. But especially given this downwards momentum, we're now asking the question, is this one going to go even lower? And now we're asking the question, are we going to start to see this one coming back down to those levels in the $52, $53 range? I think there is an absolute possibility of that. And some people are of the belief that this one could go as low as 50. Zoom out to the 3-month chart, you're still seeing that we've seen this major rally. However, given the context of everything, things are now starting to stabilize quite nicely, right? Yes, we are down, obviously, by 5%. That is relatively insignificant, though, especially considering all of this run up. However, I would still proceed this week, and especially into tomorrow, with absolute caution, right? Extreme caution I would urge with this one. Now, if we can see this hold, like I say, above 54, potentially onto some very good things. Really now on the positive, my upside potential here is I'm looking for that consolidation. I'm looking for consolidation, then a slow and steady push up to 56, 57, then into the $60 range. If we can begin to see this, things could be looking good. If we don't, we might see this one go even lower. Now also, it does appear to be the case that we are seeing volume slightly slow down as the stock continues throughout the week, which is also something to note. As you can see, this is the volume in context. The blue out here does actually indicate the volume. And you can see, yes, obviously during this massive run, you've seen it accelerate. Now, volume towards the late end of today's session actually did increase slightly. However, we have seen this volume slow down as the week has gone on. Now, that's not necessarily that worrying, and again, we're now seeing the price start to stabilize. Not inherently a bad sign, not inherently something to worry about. But my big question, especially for the next couple of days, is are we going to start to see this one stabilize? Again, 54 is great, 53, 52 is also fantastic. We want to see this one not drop any lower than 50. 50 is going to be one of the key levels that I'm looking at, specifically just slightly higher as well, 50, 51 roughly, a level that we've seen as a support back here, and again down to 50 on the low end, which we've also seen in this period. That is going to be a crucial level, because again, now we're losing basically all of these gains that we've seen from this gap up. Are we going to go lower? Well, again, based on the stability that we are slowly beginning to see, the consolidation pattern would be what I want to see next, with a slow push upwards, but now there is that possibility that we could be pushing to the downside. Anyway, they are the key levels that I am looking for this week, and I know some guys want me to give a definitive answer as to whether I think it's going up or down. Again, I do have my opinions on this one. I think there is a possibility now that yes, we're going to see a lot of extreme volatility. If I had to put my bets on it for tomorrow perhaps, potentially a very small decrease in price. I don't think there's going to be that much movement. Again, I also would not be surprised if we were to see it drop quite a bit. Ultimately though, my aim is to see a small decrease tomorrow. That would be quite a positive result because it would still indicate that consolidation pattern slowly moving to a point. Again, the question is now whether the breakout comes ahead. It's not impossible, right? It's absolutely not impossible. It just depends whether we see this level start to hold up around about 52. Again, you could make the argument there is still that bull flag forming. However, the lower we drop, right, the more concerning this arguably is. I don't think this is necessarily over yet, though. I think there is still more potential here. I really do, right? It's just about seeing where the next day or so takes us. I just wanted to bring these facts to your attention, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section. A relatively short video for you tonight. But yeah, I think today is not actually the worst of results. I don't think it's as bad as many people think it is. I think, given the context, we are still up massively. Now again, no matter how you choose to play this one, it's very, very likely that volatility is going to be here for a while. So be it big swings up or big swings down, I personally would expect one of the two. This is going to be a volatile stock. It's going to be a stock with a lot of movement, most likely in the next couple of weeks. So make sure your risk tolerance is gauged to deal with a stock like this. That's really all I've got to say for this one today, guys. Let me know your personal thoughts and opinions on this one down in the comment section. Thank you so much for your time. I do hope I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.